He said,
Alright, Shalom. First, let's start by saying all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well. And salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth with sincerity. This is just a video on a statement that President Putin made about World War III. So I'm going to go ahead and play it and then just bring in the scriptures.
And we have one message just up to the topic. So will we see this third world war? Well, remember Einstein, he said, I don't know what will be the methods of World War III, but the Fourth World War will be waged with sticks and stones. So the realization that the Third World War could mean the end of civilization, this realization, this idea should deter us from dangerous steps globally.
I'm going to stop it right there. The Third World War is inevitable. It's going to happen. 2, it's just going to be the end of Esau society and the rest of these nations. That's what it consists of. It doesn't consist of it being the end of the world, you know, where there's going to be no more people and stuff like that. You know, that's not biblical. So therefore, that's, you know, a philosophy that Esau came up with, you know, that isn't true. So I'm going to start with this scripture. This Isaiah chapter 55. Verse 10. Nope. Verse 10. It says, "For as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it." Right, so the Lord's word gonna happen, you know, regardless of what people say, people feel, even presidents, governors, your senators, your spiritual healers, whether witchcraft or not, man. Whatever Yahweh Shai say gonna happen is going to happen. This Joel chapter 3, verse 1, it says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem," which that's what the Lord doing now. That's why you see camps rising up all over the world, man, with the name GMS. And then you still got brothers out there that's doing the work that probably, you know, ain't under GMS, might not have a camera and stuff. You know, the Lord got his prophets raising up, though, man, pushing out the truth. You know, and it started from the apostles, you know, and their elders, teaching them the word and on down, man. It said, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land." Right, so the Lord gonna bring this to pass because of what they did to the 12 tribes of Israel. You know, we all went into slavery and stuff, man. We still in slavery. You got events such as the Panama Deception, them practicing using their military weapons and laser beams on Zebulun, you know, as well as the rest of the tribes, man. Esau, you know, used us for test dummies for plenty of years, man. So now it's time for payback, man. I'm gonna play the video.
As you remember, we've been living in a period of relative peace following the Second World War. And we know that there are regional conflicts out there. We had the Vietnam War, the Korean War. Right now we have some of the conflicts in the Middle East. We have Iraq, Libya, other hot spots. We've never had any global conflicts. Why? The global military powers established a strategic parity.
I'll answer that question for him real quick. This is Slovakia. Bear with me out there. I'm slacking, my bad. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Right, so there's a season and time for everything, man. That's why the Third World War hasn't kicked off. There hasn't been a global war, as you say. Because there's a time and a purpose for everything, man. But now we at that time. This is verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Right, so the Lord got times to every purpose under heaven, you know. Whenever the Lord wants this war global thing to kick off, that's when it's going to happen. So.
And you might find my words not appropriate, but that's true. The fear that each country had instilled the opponents with respect. Now, once the US withdrew from the ABM treaty, that was actually an attempt to disrupt the strategic parity. And we've been responding to it, and I mentioned that in my State of the Nation address.
Now, the reason why these nations got fear is because they know ultimately this Third World War is actually Yahushua return. You know, him putting his, taking these kingdoms down and assuming the throne, so to speak, and, having his joint heirs, which is his elect, come back, man, and we're going to live in the kingdom of heaven, right along with Yahweh, and then all those of the 2/3 going to be birthed right back in, man. They in fear because they going into slavery. Their rule, their time is over, man. This second Ezra chapter 6, verse 6. It says, then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also shall they be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, and when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, and that's what we doing. We represent Jacob. We bringing Esau's lies down, his foundation, man, through the word. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed, right? So these Edomite devils, their world is over, man. Whether they Russian, German, Scottish, French, their world is over, man. Right along with the rest of these heathen nations, man.
And the new armaments will restore the parity. We need to think about it. We need to find a contemporary solution, a way of collaboration. It's high time to sit down at the negotiating table, not just think about it, but to design a contemporary architecture of European security system.
Yeah, so, no matter what type of preparation they do or however they trying to come back together, the Lord is making it to where America stir up, get into conflict with these nations to bring about this third world war, right along with Israel, because that's the time we living in, man. So let me see if I got another one before I end it. All right, I'm gonna jump back into this Joel, because this Joel is excellent for what's going on. This is Joel chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start back at the top. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right, so we went into slavery, man. We went into slavery and we scattered everywhere across the world, man. Y'all know the history, man. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a board for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. Right, so they told, they turned the little boys into homosexuals, man. They was having sex with them, and sold the girl for wine. Right, so that's what they sold the young women for. It says, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, them Africans, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head, right? Because we not African, we Israelites, man. Them Africans sold us to them Arabs, and they put us into slavery. It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, which are them white people, that they might remove them far from their border, and our border is the land of Israel. That's why them fake Jews over there right along with them Arabs. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off. For the Lord has spoken it. Right, so you nations, you elite leaders, know that y'all going into slavery when you have a Shad's return. When you have a Shad return. And y'all gonna birth back the ones that them devils that died on this side, so they can take their ass into slavery. That's the truth. That's the word. That's the Bible. So, but with all that being said, all praise to Abba Shema Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.